There's the trestle just before Sardis. You'll see the traffic going across that road. It's going up the Cultus Lake. Here again is the mailman with a truck waiting there. Now it's perfectly straight, perfectly flat. You go past Knight Road, station at Knight Road. Then the next thing you come to is the diamond for the CN signal tower. There's the distance signal for the diamond. That's the interchange for the CN. That's the home signal, and there's the signal tower. And there's the CN main line. Now we're coming into the loop in the Chilliwack depot. Notice the cows, they're feeding there in the middle of the loop there. Peaceful setting. They don't even look at the train. Couldn't care less. There again is the mail truck. Away goes Her Majesty's mail to be delivered on time. Now we're going to have a lot of shots around Chilliwack. I'm not too familiar with the downtown. Are you, Vic? It's just shots of the downtown Chilliwack.
Yes, well, it shows Chilliwack is a very quiet area, and I must say, Frank, in looking at this footage, it's brought back a lot of memories. I assisted Ken Hodgson in taking these films by driving the car for him, and so we had a lot of fun in making this film. So it's been rather enjoyable thinking back to those days. A lot of time and effort went into it, as you can imagine, to catch the various scenes along the way. Your comments are interesting, Frank. You know the line intimately, and it's been very interesting.
Well, thanks, Vic. Pretty soon we're going to start heading back, and they're just random shots, and there's nowhere a way to identify them unless we see stations or road crossings. But it gets to be redundant to have a commentary all the way back, because it would be the same as coming up, even if we could trace them. There's sort of some nice cars. I'd sure like to have one of them today in that shape. I worked 3 and 8 for a while, and the brakeman had to sleep up in Chilliwack. The conductor lived in Chilliwack, and the brakeman had to sleep in a bunkhouse up above the car barn. And you leave Chilliwack at 8 in the morning and get back into Vancouver about 10:30, 11 o'clock. I worked it for about 3 months, 7 days a week. Made good money on it, but you sure didn't see much of your family in that 3 months. We're heading back out of the loop now. It's a complete loop around Chilliwack in those days. You didn't have to change ends or anything. There's the CN tower on the way back. Some beautiful country, beautiful scenes here. It sure brings back a lot of memories for me, too. Notice the poles there. They've and the new right-of-way. They've got all that new ballast all down there and spread out nice and even. And most of the line had poles on both sides with the trolley to hold it up. But every once in a while they'd put them steel arms out, which I guess were a lot more efficient and a lot less expensive than having a double pole line all the way, too. Those poles weren't just to hold the trolley wire up. They were also a high tension line. Had to be extremely careful.
Frank, I guess you'll notice that the consist in that train is a Niles-built baggage car as opposed to the American Car Company built car that came up on the train from Vancouver. And these were arched roof cars and matched the arched roof of the Connaught passenger car behind. So quite a different consist on the return trip.
Yeah, I noticed when I used to be a motorman on there, we used to like to get the 1700. It was a, I think it was a Ottawa car. Can anybody correct me on that? American car, yeah, American Car Company, right, yeah. And it was so much better built and everything, and I didn't know until recently that it was in a head-on collision with one of the 970 freight engines at Cloverdale. And it was sat behind Kitsilano Barn as a wreck for several years, and they rebuilt it. And I know whenever I motored it, I thought, gee, this is a nice car in good shape, but I didn't realize it had been rebuilt, whereas the Niles cars were getting pretty rickety. They were identical motors and everything in them, though, and controllers. And number 2 was the one that went up in the morning and come back as number 5. Then they had 4 and 7. 4 used to leave about 2 in the afternoon and get back about 9 o'clock into Westminster. And then the Central Park fellows would take the number 4 back from Westminster to Vancouver. And then 3 and 8 was 3 used to come down in the morning at 8 o'clock, and it was number 8 going back up around about 5:30. It left Vancouver. Yeah, there's what Front Street used to look like. Them boxcars are on the Great Northern track and the Great Northern interchange, waiting for the BC Electric to pick them up. Or the BC Electric have left them there for the Great Northern to pick up. And as the tracks go over, there's the Great Northern, the CN, the CP, and the BC Electric. There he's going into the back of the Value Village there. He's coming up. Another interesting thing here, when the freight train went through that 1-point switch, it was a city switch, and you used to have to put a great big track nut in there, throw the switch and put the track nut in so that the switch couldn't flop over when all the boxcars were going over it. And then the tail end brakeman, he sometimes had a hard time getting that nut out of there because it would get wedged in, and he'd have to jab at it a couple of times with a switch iron and pick it up and then run after the caboose to get on. Here's the sad part. The old, this is the L4. They had a couple of these, the L6 and the L4, but they're taking the wire down, picking it all up. Story I heard, I don't know how true it is or not, but they had several huge rolls of this copper trolley wire by the track, and they went to pick it up in the morning and it was all gone. Somebody come along in a truck in the middle of the night, and very valuable commodity, that copper. They got it down a lot quicker than they put it up, I'll bet. One thing watching this film, I can't see how that trolleyman can keep that trolley on the wire. The wire is so slack, but yet that trolley seems to stay right on there. See, they cut all the guys, and gets them great big cutters, and he snips them right off, and then the trolley wire drops loose.